A journey begins with one small step. It doesn't matter how hard you hit, whether you win or lose. What matters is that you have a common goal. And to reach that goal, it takes a band of brothers acting as one. Every week, we come together to witness these gladiators of the gridiron pour their heart and soul onto the field. This is Wendy's Friday Night Rivals on MyTV WQMY.
Welcome to Ironman Stadium at Danville High School, Montour County. Tonight, it's the PIAA Class AA state semifinal between Dunmore and Southern Columbia. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Ide. Welcome to week number 15 of high school football, and it's the matchup that we had hoped for. Joining me tonight in the booth from PAFootballNews.com, Chris Kaharski, our own Aaron Dugan will be on the sidelines shortly. So, Chris, we had our fingers crossed. We got this matchup that we wanted. Do we have the best two teams on the eastern side?
Yeah, not only the best two teams, Bob, two of the best programs in the state. That tradition makes the backstory great, but when we watch these two teams tonight, one of them's going to Hershey. It's a shame they both can't go because it's going to be one of the best matchups we're going to see all season.
Our DePietro's Pharmacy Spotlight player for Dunmore will be defensive back Steve Borgia. He's going to have a tough task tonight against an offense of Southern Columbia that averages 50 points per game.
Yeah, Steve is only a sophomore, but he plays like he's a senior. He's athletic, he can make plays, but he's going to have to step his game up even more because he's going against very skilled players from Southern Columbia, especially in the receiving core, Bob. He's capable of doing it. If he makes those plays, he's going to give Dunmore a chance to win.
Our other DePietro's Pharmacy Spotlight player is another super sophomore wide receiver, Julian Fleming.
Well, the whole state knows about Julian Fleming. I mean, it's no secret anymore. Only a sophomore as well. The talent is there, speed, he's strong, he's smart, he plays football very well. And the problem for Dunmore is he's not their only weapon. He might be their most dangerous weapon, but he's not their only weapon. So if they can try to neutralize him a little bit, it might give the defense some confidence, and that will give Dunmore's defense a better chance to stay in this game.
It's another beautiful evening for high school football. Let's check out the forecast now from Mike Linden from the Fox 56 News, first at 10.
It is going to be a cold 1st of December, especially through the evening hours. Temperatures not only falling below freezing into the evening hours, but even with light wind, that is likely to make that 27 feel a little bit more like the lower 20s, if not potentially the upper teens. And Bob, this is just the start of the month. Likely to get even colder as we get into next week.
Thank you, Mike. The winner of tonight's game will head to the state championship next week in Hershey. It's Dunmore and Southern Columbia next.
You're watching Wendy's Friday Night Rivals on MyTV WQMY.
And here come the Dunmore Bucks trying to get back to Hershey for the first time since 2014. Matched by the Southern Columbia Tigers trying to get their back to Hershey for the second time in 3 years and maybe an 8th state championship. Back at a packed Ironman Stadium in Danville, getting ready for tonight's Friday Night Rivals game. The third member of our crew, as always, is Aaron Dugan. And Aaron, we know about the teams, but really tonight might be about the coaches.
Absolutely, Bob. When it comes to high school football coaches, pure legends out here tonight. When you just think about the pure experience, they have over 85 years coaching experience together and 845 wins. Coach Henses and Roth, they've both been doing this for a long time. Coach Henses has been at the helm of Dunmore for 51 years. He has 435 wins. Coach Roth, 34 years and 410 wins, making them the top two winningest active coaches in Pennsylvania.
Dunmore and Southern have met one time, 2012. Dunmore won that 35-29. Dunmore won the toss, deferred, a little low kick, Squid picked up. They don't want to kick it to Gage Garcia. And there was a fumble on the play, but it looks like Southern Columbia returned it. They'll have the ball at their own 35-yard line. Jeff Cox behind Stone Hollenbach. We'll talk about the quarterback in a second. They play a wing teach type offense. Watch out for Rodarmo tonight. He's in for an injured Heim. Also Gage Garcia back there. The offensive line features 3 juniors and 2 seniors, a lot of experience up front. Again, this team, Chris, averaging nearly 50 points per game. They've really ramped it up in the playoffs. Ball's on the turf again. Still loose. Who has it? The signal, Dunmore has the fumble.
Wow, right off the bat, the pressure from the Dunmore defense gets to Hollenbach as they go with the play action. But look at the bull rush there by big number 77. That's Michael Morocco. And actually, after the Keystone Cops here with the ball bouncing everywhere, Bob, look who gets on it. Morocco. Wow, what a play to start this game.
Unbelievable play. Dunmore will have it at the Tigers' 15-yard line. To the air they go. To the end zone. Borgia, touchdown Dunmore. 15 yards. 22 seconds into the game. The Bucks with a stunning 6-0 lead early on.
It's the wheel route. They've had Borgia as the tailback, Bob, and perfectly thrown ball by the quarterback, Darcy. And I mean, you can't play it any better than Dunmore did on that first play. They go right for the end zone, right for the kill after the turnover. A little bit of shock in this stadium to start this game.
Southern this year only fumbled the ball 5 times before that. They had a plus 14 turnover average on the season. Rinaldi in for the extra point is blocked. Southern gets some redemption back, but Dunmore has the 6-0 lead.
The score is Dunmore 6, and we have a media timeout. A media timeout.
DePietro's Pharmacy in Dunmore, a locally owned family pharmacy, is proud to support the Dunmore Bucks, offering friendly professional service at no extra cost is what makes them different. Free delivery to all of Lackawanna County. Let them help organize your medication for free. That's DePietro's in Dunmore, your hometown pharmacy.
So a big crowd that came down from Lackawanna County, happy about what they're seeing. Let's take a look at this touchdown again. And you mentioned the wheel route, and Darcy has thrown a lot this year, but that might be his biggest touchdown, his 28th of the year.
It's a well-executed play, Bob, because they changed things up. Borgia's not a tailback. I don't know if he's lined up there all year. I mean, I haven't seen every Dunmore game, but again, they kind of hit him back there, and he got past the quarterback, and that was enough.
Play will resume.
We didn't have time to talk, but Gage Garcia, who's back deep for Southern Columbia last week, took the opening kick 92 yards. The Bucks will not kick to him. Another squibber. This is picked up. Another threat, though. It's Fleming. Good special teams. Southern has it past the 35-yard line. Now let's take a look at the Dunmore defense, who just caused that fumble. We talked about Morocco in there, but Shoemaker, another big guy, 25 tackles for a loss. Linebackers very active. Mesco with 80 tackles. Overholtz with 71 tackles. And then in the secondary, we talked about Borgia in the pregame. Fangio on the other side will have a tough task as well. Matched up against Fleming, which he is right now. Southern right back to Garcia. Garcia, the second big weapon, a big gainer into Bucks territory, down to the 30-yard line.
Well, one thing you can't do tonight if you're Dunmore is miss tackles, Bob. One of the Bucks had a chance to get him as he tried to get to the edge. Garcia is quick, he's strong. You see it right there, you can't just arm tackle. And then Garcia gets to the outside, a big gainer right into Dunmore territory.
Cox gets the handoff, meets Shoemaker. We just talked about his tackles for a loss. There's another one on the season.
Here's the thing about Southern. They play a pretty decent schedule. They play some good teams. They've never seen two guys in the middle of a defense like Morocco and Shoemaker. These two kids are very, very good. Yes, they're big, but they are athletic as well. You just saw right there the play Shoemaker, who's been one of the best defensive linemen in the Lackawanna Football Conference the past 2 years.
To the air for Hollenbach. Towards the end zone. Flag down. This is probably going to go against the Bucks trying to get the Fleming.
And yeah, they're going to get the hold or the pass interference. And honestly, that time it wasn't really necessary because the safety got over there pretty quickly. So they would have had coverage there. You see, for Dunmore, number 5, Noah O'Malley, get over there, Bob. And that's what they're going to need. They're going to need safety help over the top with Fleming. Really, probably not a necessary penalty for the Bucks at that point by Fangio, but it'll give the, I guess they're going to call it holding. Did they call it holding or?
They get called holding.
Okay. So before the ball was in the air.
Yeah, so it's officially second down. Call it about 2. Garcia weaves through, tackled near the 20, believe a first down for Southern.
There was Shoemaker again. You can see how he pursued down the line, Bob. Even though he wasn't in the play initially, he goes down, but Garcia had enough forward progress to make the first down.
So Southern picks up the DePietros Pharmacy first down, about a yard away from the red zone. Putting a nice drive together, answering the Dunmore touchdown. 22 seconds into this game. Quarterback sneak. Hollenbach to the end zone. Southern ties it up.
Well executed play by the Tigers. Everybody looking to Garcia to get the football, and he just bootlegged it. Had some blockers out in front. Dunmore, you can see they got caught with people on the other side of the ball, and good blocking by the Tigers downfield, and they tie this game up on their second drive of the game.
Hoffman in for the extra point. Southern takes the 7-6 lead early here in the first. We'll be right back. Just under 2 minutes into this game, we already have 13 points up on the scoreboard. We knew the offenses would come to play. Well, maybe it'd be a more defensive battle early on, but teams going right at each other early on. Hoffman tees it up. He's got a great leg. But Borgia will take it from his 6. Holds on to the football, past the 25 to the 26.
Joe Tomko, Vice President Commercial Banking at Fidelity Bank, wishes the Bucks good luck in tonight's game.
Thank you to all of our sponsors who made this game possible. State semifinals next week. They'll either meet Wilmington or Washington for the state title. 1 p.m. next Friday at Hershey. That game going on as we speak. So here come the Bucks offense. A little bit farther to go on this drive. Big fullback Damiano. Couple yards, if that.
Dunmore's had some injury issues throughout the season at tailback, so towards the end of the year, Bob, Damiano was actually the tailback, and you saw him there line up with the one back in the backfield. He's a power guy, obvious by his size, but you can see even there, he stopped at the line of scrimmage and managed to jump forward, at least get a yard out of the play.
He played tailback when DeVito was hurt and Buckley was shaken up. In fact, he's run for over 630 yards in his senior season. This is DeVito. Not much past the 25. Now the Toyota starters for the Dunmore Bucks. We mentioned DeVito and we mentioned Damiano. Garcia having a great season at quarterback. The receivers, some good ones. We talk about Borgia. O'Malley had a big catch last week against Ligonier Valley. Up front, a lot of experience up there. Just one junior, 4 seniors on that offensive line, and they're big and strong as always. So this Dunmore offense averages nearly 300 yards per game, 37 points on the season. Here comes the blitz. Borgia, a DePietros Pharmacy first down near the 40.
I talked to Coach Henses before the game, Bob, about Gavin Darcy, and this is why Dunmore's been able to throw the ball better. He has the year under his belt from last year, and you see he threw that ball before Borgia even turned around, knew where he was going to be. Bucks moved the chains. Really, Darcy has been a big reason why Dunmore's been so dominant this season.
Darcy last week, 5 of 10 against Ligonier Valley, just 83 yards, but did have a touchdown. This is Christian Buckley, the freshman, who's knocked down. Here now the defense from Southern Columbia. They give up 12 points per game. Dominski up front, having a nice year along with Andrew Bell. The linebackers very active. We'll talk about Cal Holliday. We mentioned our impact players, but he's having a great season, 90 tackles. And Fleming, for the first time this season, playing in the secondary. He's done a nice job along with Day and Schusler. Borgia caught for a loss. That's Halliday. Back to the 36.
This is where they like to run Borgia. They run him in motion and try to get the jet sweep. But here's the problem. Southern is so quick, you can see them just push it into the gaps, and nobody blocks Halliday. Easy play for him. This is not where Dunmore wants to be. The last set of downs, Bob, 2nd and 7, 2nd and 6, that's okay, or 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6, that's okay. 3rd and 14 or 13, not where Dunmore wants to be.
7 guys in the box for the Tigers to give it to the big fullback. He picks up a bunch near the original line of scrimmage, but he'll have to come back now and punt this one away for Dunmore.
Good defensive stand by the Tigers. Again, negative yardage on 2nd down forces Dunmore. They try to catch them a little bit off guard, but you're not going to do against a good team like Southern Columbia. And once again, I think that was Halliday once again in on the tackle. Amazing that these two kids, Halliday and Tillett, are sophomores, Bob. The talent level here at Southern is unreal.
Garcia and Fleming back. Damianos has struggled with some punts this year. This one is a little bit high. It will hit this new turf here at Danville and take a Bucks bounce up inside the 20-yard line. So we mentioned the two quarterbacks, so we talk about the starters, but both of them having career years. Chris?
Yeah, I mean, Gavin Darcy, we just mentioned him a little bit. He doesn't throw the ball a lot, Bob, but when he does, he's very effective. Look at the touchdowns, 27 on the season. They've gone with big plays at times. Of course, he's the state javelin champion as well. Stone Hollenbach also, he's got to kind of manage the offense sometimes because there's so many weapons. He's got to make sure he shares the ball around. You saw his running ability, but the 2,200 yards, over 2,200 yards passing shows his ability as well.
And he's just a junior. So number 15 under the center. He's back. Pressure. Dunmore's got him for sack of the evening, and that is Overholt, with the 2nd sack of the season.
Yeah, I mean, Dunmore can get pressure on you, and again, it's not always the big guys up front. Overholtz was lined up as kind of like a stand-up linebacker on the edge, and he just went in, and that's the 2nd sack already tonight for Dunmore. If they keep getting pressure on Hollenbach, that's going to take Fleming out of the game a little bit if he can't get him the ball downfield.
Southern's closest game was against Mount Carmel, 3rd game of the season. They only won by, 14, Chris. In that, the Tornadoes defense did a nice job, just like Dunmore is right now, holding this Southern Columbia offense down, and especially the running game in check.
And this is where the most interesting storyline is, Bob. I mean, we hear about Fleming, we hear about Borgia, we hear about Darcy, Hollenbach. Up front is where this battle is going to be won tonight. I don't think either of these lines have faced a line as good as the one they're facing tonight. In the end, whoever wins that battle up front is going to win this game tonight.
It's like a passing down for the Tigers. Airs it out for, I would say Fleming, but it's not Fleming. That is Zachman on the other side, number 14. And here come the Tigers to punt for the first time tonight.
Good coverage by the Bucks on that side, and they had double coverage on the opposite side with Fleming. Again, they're cheating the safety over, Bob. Wherever Fleming's going, they don't want to get beat deep. So Dunmore gets their first stop defensively tonight, as they'll force a punt.
Borgia back to receive. It looks like Hoffman will do the kicking on this one. Sometimes it is Fleming, and this one, I think, I don't know if it was tipped or takes a big bounce. About a 7-yard return, but the Bucks will start in Tiger territory, about the 43.
Nardozzi's Pizza, proudly serving Dunmore since 1959. Home of the 2 large plain pizzas for just $18.45. Open 7 nights a week. Call 570-961-9911. Follow them on Facebook for weekly specials. Good luck to the Bucks from Nardozzi's Pizza.
So for the second time tonight, the Bucks start in Southern Territory. This is the 43. Setting up to Damiano. He's got room. And the big fullback lumbering and bummering inside the 20, out at the 15-yard line. 30-yard play for Damiano.
Again, the execution by the Bucks on that play was perfect. Damiano, I believe he was lined up on a wing that time, Bob, all alone. But watch the play afterwards. Southern tries to go low, runs through that arm tackle, runs over another arm tackle. He's a tank out there, and you have to make sure you grab his feet, because when you have a big fullback, he's going to run over you. That time we saw that on that play. The Bucks are in the red zone.
The Plaza House Furniture red zone. Second time tonight. Vito stood up at the line, but not tackled. No whistle. Touchdown Bucks. You talked about wrapping up. Southern did not. Dunvito kept those legs moving, and he goes in for the second touchdown of the night. That's a Plaza House Furniture touchdown for the Bucks.
What a run by Dunvito. Watch this. He is stopped by a wall of black, but he never gives up on the play. He's stuck there. Nobody brings him down. He keeps his feet running. Look at the Southern kids. They thought he was down, and he just keeps running right into the end zone. And right now, Dunmore is playing with a lot of confidence, Bob. They've read all the headlines about Southern and how good they are, but they're not backing down early in this game.
16th touchdown for Dunvito. This time it's a good snap, good hold. Mark Rinaldi puts it through, and Dunmore takes back the lead by 6.
47 remaining in the first quarter.
Matt Burney Honda is proud to join the community in congratulating the Dunmore Bucks on their achievements this season. We wish all the best to the Coach Henses and the team. Go Bucks from Matt Burney Honda.
Chris, 20 points up on the board. We're not even past the midway part of the first quarter. Is this what you expected?
Well, here's what I said before the game to a lot of people. How can Dunmore win the game? Well, you're going to have to keep Southern from scoring for it. Now I'm changing my opinion a little bit, because Dunmore's shown they can move the ball on Southern.
Absolutely.
And, you know, this could end up being a 40-point game for each team the way it's starting now. Now, the defenses might settle down a little bit, but there's been 2 things I'm going to talk about real quick, Bob. I like the fact that Dunmore kicked the extra point. You'll see a lot of coaches miss that first extra point and start chasing points. It's too early in the game. Do what you normally do. Worry about points later. As you see the replay here, again, Don Vito. Watch, Southern, they stopped.
Yeah.
They just stopped. You can't do that, though. And I'm sure Coach Roth is not going to be happy with that. They thought he was down. You got to continue to hear that whistle. There was no whistle. But the other thing I want to mention, too, is we talked about the punting. Damiano's punt was one of the better ones he's had this season. It changed the field position, because Southern's punt wasn't as good. Dunmore got the good field position. It didn't take them many plays to get down there, and Damiano with that big pass play as well.
So again, they won't kick it to Garcia or Fleming, but actually it will get, Garcia did pick it up near the 20.
Garcia
Past the 30 up to the 33.
You got to be careful with Garcia. You saw right there, again, it looked like he was going to be down. That's how dangerous he is. But
Geisinger Care Works impact players, Chris.
well, we just mentioned Garcia. Good on both sides of the ball. Special teams, too, Bob. He was the one to block the extra point. Andrew Bell, a very good two-way player. And, of course, Cal Holliday, we've already talked about him, the super sophomore. And a lot of super sophomores in this game.
How about last year for Halliday? 151 tackles. He was a freshman. This year, he came in with 90. He'll be over the 100 mark by the end of this season. Right up the gut to Cox. Holds on to the ball, and it's a DePietro's Pharmacy first down, gain of 11.
Well, nobody's going to talk about Cox a lot with all these stars on the Southern team, but that's a player that can help them today, because what does he do, Bob? He keeps the Dunmore defense honest, and you just saw here, just a simple play right up the middle. Wasn't even a trap or anything. They just sealed the inside. Good gain for Cox to get a first down for the Tigers.
Cox against Central Columbia, picked up 65 yards and a touchdown. That was his best output. of the season.
Garcia
up for about 4.
Stopped by number 80, Tyler Overholt.
And here's the issue for Southern
4 yards.
running the football too, Bob. We saw Garcia's big play in that first drive, but the holes aren't going to be there as much as they have for Southern this season. Dunmore does a good job of keeping you within the tackles and not giving you a lot. And you saw on that play, not giving you a lot of room. So Garcia's going to have to be a little sneakier, sneaking through smaller gaps.
Some pressure on Hollenbach, and I think that affected the throw. Garcia couldn't get it, just off his fingertips.
No doubt it affected the throw. Hollenbach had to just get rid of it to avoid another sack by Overholt. Garcia was open on the play, just didn't have time to develop. And again, the pressure from the Bucs defense causes the incompletion. Yeah, if he's open, Bob, if Hollenbach has an extra second there to set his feet, but he had to get rid of the ball.
Well, this Dunmore defense, 6 shutouts in the regular season. They're giving up just 6.5 points per game. Ligonier did put up 20 points on them last week. So Hollenbach to the air again, strong arms it. Fleming with a beautiful catch. Julian Fleming still on his feet. Inside the 20. Big gain for Southern Columbia there in Buck territory at the 6-yard line.
And that's what makes him special right there. The catch first of all, and then the run after the catch. Dunmore had it covered. They could have maybe had a pick there. Then they had the tackle, but that didn't work out. And really, this is just a great individual play by Fleming. It's why colleges are salivating at possibly getting him to come play in a couple years at their program. He said, that again, it was covered by Fangio, just couldn't make the play.
40-yard gain. Garcia gets in for a Plaza House Furniture touchdown. We're tied. The extra point will give Southern the lead back.
Now it's the Tigers to have the Bucs back on their heels. 2 big plays in this game have gotten the field position. First Hollenbach taking it in on a nice play. Now Garcia just going off tackle. We've got a good one brewing here at Danville.
Hoffman is up and through. The Tigers on the extra point take the 1-point lead. Just over 3 minutes left in the first quarter here in Danville.
Eugenia Photography, voted best photographer by the Scranton Times 4 years in a row, is proud to offer an amazing photo experience to families and newborns at an affordable price. Eugenia DePietro would like to wish the Dunmore Bucks and the Don Vito boys good luck. Let's go Bucks.
So the points keep on coming here. We're just about, 30 minutes into this game, but on the clock, there's 3:37 left in the first quarter. Already 27 points up on the board, Chris.
Listen, if you're not a Dunmore fan or you're not a Southern Columbia fan, you're a football fan, you are watching the right game tonight. You will not see a better start to a game in a football game. This has been exciting. It's been some defensive plays, some offensive plays, some unbelievable plays. Look at Fleming again. Go up and get the ball. You can't just grab him like that. He's too strong. Good play, hustle play to stop the touchdown, but then Gage Garcia, that's probably going to be one of the easier runs he has tonight.
Yep, the super sophomores, that's what they are. I mean, just sophomores for Southern Columbia. On that drive, they were both highlighted. So McDade and Borgia back for Hoffman's kick. Borgia from his 5. Hole closed. Dunmore will have decent field position, about 26 yards at the 26-yard line. So our Geisinger Careworks impact players for the Bucks, Fangio, Shoemaker, and Ionisco.
And look at the positions we listed after their names, Bob, after their numbers. Defense, defense, defense. Now, the Bucks have gotten 2 stops on Southern in this game, forced a turnover, forced a punt. That's a lot more than most teams have gotten on them all year. So the defense is actually not off to a bad start considering the points they've given up.
Ionisco, 103 tackles on the season. This is the freshman. Breaks a couple tackles, good gain for about 5.
Well, this is the future of Dunmore football right there. Christian Buckley, the name very familiar to fans in northeastern Pennsylvania. His 2 brothers, both played at Dunmore, both went on to college careers. And he's just a freshman. He's struggled with the injuries this year, Bob. They thought maybe he would be their premier tailback. But again, he just didn't play in a lot of games. But now he's healthy and saw a pretty good run there on first down.
Yeah, he had 140 yards against Newport a couple weeks ago, the first round of the playoffs. Borgia wide open. Missed that one. In the last game your dad and I did against Newport, we mentioned the dropsies. In that first quarter, Dunmore had the dropsies. That one wasn't easy. He was wide open.
Yeah, Coach Hens is on the sidelines. You can see he's not happy with that. Watch the pass protection here, Bob. Darcy has all kinds of time. That's a play Steve Borgia's got to make, and he knows it too. He's made a lot of plays for the Bucks this season, but that's a first down right there. Almost an easy catch and pass for him and his quarterback.
Referees are going to stop this one.
Now, I wonder if somebody was in the neutral zone here, because of when the flag was thrown.
On the offense. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Yeah.
Of course, in high school, they don't give a number, but because of when the play was stopped, because it was offsides, not an illegal procedure, somebody lined up over the ball. And in week 15, Bob, you cannot be making those mistakes.
And Coach Hensis has talked about that openly. They've had some mistakes in the playoffs, even in the District 2 playoffs. They've carried it on now into the states, but they've overcome them. Can they overcome them tonight?
I mean, you go from 3rd and 5 to 3rd and 10, totally different ball game against this Southern defense.
Darcy in the shotgun. In and out of the hands of O'Malley. Zachman on the defense, and here comes the punt team again for the Bucks.
Another one of those sophomores for the Tigers. This is great coverage by Zachman. Watch the arm strength, though, of Darcy, though. I mean, he gets that ball where it needs to be. Unfortunately, the Bucks just can't pull it in. O'Malley extended as much as he could. Would have been a great catch, but again, I think the coverage is what caused the high throw, and Dunmore gets stopped, and they'll punt the football away for the second time this evening.
This is where it gets dangerous. Garcia and Fleming back near their 50 for this punt.
47, Frank Damiano, the punt.
Nice high kick. Returnable, though. Fleming lets it bounce. That may be a mistake.
Damiano's punt.
But Southern will have it at the 35-yard line.
Southern takes over.
Good luck, Dunmore Bucks from Elmhurst Country Club. Have a wedding this year or a holiday party? Call Elmhurst Country Club. Come and check out their view from the banquet room. Visit their website or call Tommy and I at 570-842-7691. It's the Elmhurst Country Club.
I would like to see Fleming catch that one, though.
Well, yeah,
it's returnable.
but listen, I'm not going to blame the guy, though, because you're in the state semifinals. You don't want to take any chance. If you don't feel comfortable, let it bounce. Let your offense do the work. They've done a pretty good job so far tonight. Look at
High formation, and this is Rodarmo. Big room, lot of room for the sophomore inside Buck territory down to the 29-yard line.
You saw the speed there, Bob, and he's their third option running the football usually. Behind Gage Garcia and behind, but I mean, this is again, look at the line out in front of them. Dunmore just did not have a good defensive alignment for that. They had nobody on the outside. Give credit to the Southern coaches. The alignment was what got that play open, and then Rodarmo did the rest.
37-yard gain. It's a DePietro's Pharmacy first down for the Tigers. Fade to Fleming. Touchdown, Southern Columbia! Julian Fleming hauls it in for a Plaza House Furniture touchdown.
Not much Dunmore could do about that. Hollenbach, a perfect throw. You know they practice this all the time. Here's the one thing to remember, Bob. The height advantage Fleming has over the defensive backs. Borgia is there on his shoulder, but there's a 6-inch difference between the two. And right there, Southern exploited it.
And the offense continues here in this state semifinal game. The Tigers take this one in 2 plays, 65-yard drive. So this is what the Tigers have faced in the playoffs. They played 3 weeks of District 4 ball, and then last week their first state quarterfinal.
Yeah, and you can see they rolled through the District 4 section of it, winning another District 4 title for Coach Roth. But you know, a lot of people thought maybe Dunmore would give them a game. Very talented team out of Philadelphia, but once again, to show them when you are talented, you also have to be disciplined, and Southern just picked them apart last week. It was no challenge for the Tigers as they get back here. It's interesting, Bob. We have a Final Four in 2A. And here we have Dunmore and Southern Columbia. On the other side, you have Wilmington and Washington. All 4 of those programs have played in state championship games, so they're going to get back there. Actually, Washington played Dallas.
Okay.
You remember back in 1991.
91, 92,
yeah,
right?
and actually they played last night too.
Oh.
Well, the other Washington.
Yeah, the other
Dallas.
Washington, Dallas.
But yeah, so there's some pedigree for these programs that are left in 2A. And I can tell you, about the Pennsylvania football news, when we do the rankings, 2A was the most dominant classification. Our 8 teams were ranked the same almost from week 2 on.
Borgia from about a 7. Darmo pulls him down. And now it's the Bucks' turn, possibly, to answer the Tigers' touchdown. The flag is down.
Mistake-free football is necessary for Dunmore to win this game. We saw them turn a 3rd and 5 into a 3rd and 10. Now they had decent field position at the 27. You'll take that. Now that field position disappears on a holding penalty. You can't do that against Southern. They're too good. You can't make mistakes. And you're not going to get a lot of those mistakes in return from the Tigers.
So holding against Dunmore, and you saw the stands momentarily. Maybe we can see them again. It is standing room only here at Danville High School.
Beautiful playing surface, Bob. Great lighting, brand new. They're going to build a new press box next year, but maybe the venue a little too small for this marquee matchup. A lot of people standing around the fences.
Well, they're missing the show so far. Tipped at the line of scrimmage by one of the linebackers. I think that was Chicatano, who got his hand up.
Yeah, and you don't see Gavin Darcy make too many mistakes like that, but Luke Yanisco was wide open in the middle of the field, Bob. I'm not trying to see where he came. I think he came from the right side, and you can see him right there in the background. He was open, and he knew it too. Tried to get it to one of his favorite receivers, O'Malley. O'Malley had a great game last week, like you mentioned, big catch against Ligonier Valley.
This is not your father's and uncle's Dunmore team. They like to pass the ball. Now, multiple fronts also for the Bucks. You saw Morocco move over. Donvito tripped at the line of scrimmage.
33, Donvito in the
Looked like
carry.
Troy Donlin on the tackle. There you see the Southern Columbia stands. There is the Matt Burney press box. We're in that. But I seriously think there's got to be between 3,000 and 4,000 people.
It might even be more, Bob. I mean, it is packed here. And again, some of the fans couldn't even get a seat.
There is also special guest here. We have some video. We'll sneak it in, but Penn State coach James Franklin is on the sidelines. Darcy back on 3rd down. Airs it out. McDade had a step. He overthrew him. 4th down on the way.
No doubt McDade had a step. Unfortunately, Darcy could not get it to him as Zoller was out there. But give McDade credit, he ran right past him. It's just not enough air under the ball, and Dunmore will have to punt it away again. And now Dunmore's getting in dangerous territory because they're not winning the field position battle now, which they won earlier in this quarter. And with 1:08 left, Southern has a chance for another score here.
This one is returnable, Chris. This is Garcia. Good job by the special teams from Dunmore. Great tackle in there by George Mesco. Southern will have it inside Bucks territory.
Now the Southern.
By number 9, George Mesto, and number 72, Jerry Longo.
Brian J. Calley and Associates is a full-service law firm protecting, respecting, and working with clients to get the best results. Attorney Calley has over 40 years of experience helping and caring for his clients. Visit the Calley Law Firm on the web at brianjcalley.com or call 570-344-2029 today to schedule a free consultation.
There's that Dunmore defense. Shoemaker shooting in, easily pulling down Cox. Loss of 1.
You know, Southern kind of got put back on their heels early in this game, Bob, but the defense has started to settle down a little bit. They've gotten the field position. And you see here, though, Cox is good in between the tackles. That's not where his strength is, to get to the outside. And Dunmore did a good job of penetrating and making the tackle for loss.
This will be the final play probably of the quarter, and the Bucks defense, again, shooting the gaps, pulling down Garcia for no gain. 3rd down on the way, and that should come into the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, that was Morocco who got in there again. That's the staple of the wing T. Garcia coming off that corner, and obviously he didn't get much yardage there. In fact, lost yardage.
Can't get a better start in this one. 34 combined points up on the board, and we're headed to quarter number 2 in the state AA semifinals.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks so much for watching tonight's game on MyTV, WQMY. Just want to tell you about Southern Columbia's rich history with their kickers. They take the guys from the soccer field and bring them over, and man, it works out really well, especially with Elijah Hoffman. He just went out on the field behind me, but man, it turned out to be a great decision with him. 123 points this season, 90 extra points, 11 field goals, and Bobby's a really good student. In fact, perfect score on his SATs in math. I think you did the same thing, right?
No, actually, Chris did. He told me that the other day. But now he went into the English major, communication. So that makes sense, Chris.
He was a math guy in my younger days.
Hoffman is out for the punting. He's doing it tonight instead of Fleming, and Borgia will have a return from his 15. He did have a return last week against Ligonier. Good job, up past the 30 to the 32-yard line.
I want to go back to that last play, Bob, the sack on Hollenbach, the 3rd one of this game. Julian Fleming had triple coverage on that post pattern, and he still got some room, but again, the pressure, and Tyler Overholtz is having a heck of a first half here. Look there, doesn't give up on the play, comes on the inside, the pump fake, pulled our cameraman even, but nonetheless, look at the Bucks rally to the ball.
So the defense holds for Dunmore. They trail by 8 as we head into quarter number 2. They go back to the ground, and Donvito has a touchdown already. Nice gain of about 6.
Listen, even with the success that Gavin Darcy has had this year, Dunmore is never going to abandon the running game as long as Jack Hens is on that sideline. And this is a pretty good blocking up front. Patience by Donvito. He finds the hole outside the tackle and gets good first down yardage. This is what Dunmore wants. They'll take 4 yards at a time. That's fine with them, because guess what? It keeps Southern's offense off the field as well.
Darcy, about a 2-yard gain, taken down in the middle.
This is a nice play by the Southern defense. They weren't fooled. They tried to bring Borgia over on the jet sweep, fake the ball to him, but the Tigers didn't fall for it. You know, Darcy still got decent yardage, but not what the Bucks were hoping for. They were hoping to catch the Bucks off guard, and they didn't that time. That was actually Lear Quinton staying at home and making the play.
Play action. Darcy in the double coverage. 2 guys in white jerseys there, 2 in black. They're trying to get O'Malley. He couldn't reach it. Here comes the punt team again for the Bucks.
A little surprised by that selection of where they're trying to throw the ball. You only need 4 yards. But they go downfield a little bit and just over the outstretched arms. A pretty good coverage, too, I thought, by the Tigers, but nonetheless, the Bucks cannot convert a 3rd down once again. It's 3 straight drives.
How many times can you roll the dice while you're kicking it to these guys who are deep, Garcia and Fleming? This one, you're going to get a shank once in a while, and that was, but it takes a decent roll. And they'll still have it inside Tiger territory on the 45.
Now, you always look at the bright side, Bob, and the bright side is none of the returners touched it for Southern. So,
Chris, you talked about the Final Four. They're in the PA Football News rankings, as you talked about. You have Dunmore at 4 and Southern at 1.
yeah, if you look at all those teams, Bob, they were all undefeated going in to the playoffs. I mean, that's how strong 2A was this year. Steel Valley's the defending champs. They got knocked off in the Whippeal Championship by Washington, but there's the Final Four right there. Southern, Wilmington, Washington, and Dunmore, and 2 of them will be in Hershey next week on Friday.
Yeah, all
Prior
kinds
to
of
the
flags.
snap, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalties, still first down.
Larry Eichlin, our referee tonight. This crew out of the District 11 area, Allentown, Bethlehem, and Easton. So far, they've called a good game, but again, a mistake by one of these teams could cost them. Now, you have to go 15 instead of 10. Garcia almost taken down twice behind the line of scrimmage. Dunmore catches up to him. He gets back those 5, maybe 6 yards.
Yeah, I was looking for a flag initially, and then it came in late. Good job by the Dunmore defense with leverage here on the outside. Shoemaker almost gets him, but you can see right there, it was right behind Shoemaker. One of the Bucks got pulled down, and that's going to push the ball back.
So a couple penalties already for Southern Columbia on this drive is going to push them back.
Well, that penalty there is, you don't want to make the unforced errors. That's just a player trying to make a block, and Dunmore just playing good defense. I mean, again, you're not going to see these teams that haven't seen that much here. Don't forget, we mentioned how Southern has rolled through their. Dunmore is 14-0 too. They had a 6-game shutout streak. I mean, this defense has been great all season. They really were not challenged except for their opener against the 4A West Scranton team.
Hollenbach has to go down to Fleming. Tiger fans wanted a late hit. I think he slipped. Picks up maybe about 6.
And even then, he has nowhere to go, but he still makes Borgia miss on that play. And again, just shows how good he is. Borgia might have slowed him down just for a half a second. Hollenbach originally didn't have him. There was a lot of traffic there. Yeah, Borgia kind of got his foot and couldn't let him go. And coming
Yanisco
over,
came in.
Yeah, Yanisco, and it's right on the sidelines. The referees did not throw the flag.
8 guys in the box. Hollenbach is chased. He's got room, puts his shoulder down up past the 50. Mesco there along with Yanisco. It's going to be 3rd down, though.
No fear there by Hollenbach. He just lowered his shoulder like he's the fullback. And again, this is good pressure. Shoemaker flushes him out of the pocket, was looking for a hold, didn't get one. Now the secondary has to come up. Good tackle there. Yanisco was in there along with Mesco. And the Southern on 3rd down now has a good manageable situation in Dunmore territory.
Nice 11-yard pickup. Shoemaker rides him down. Some tempers flaring behind.
Yanisco didn't like the late block, but he's got to go back to his huddle. He doesn't want to get 15. And Dunmore gets this. How about Shoemaker, though, again? Coming from that inside position, again, that wing tee, it's very hard to get there from the inside, and he just goes right down the line and makes the bear hug tackle from behind, and Southern has to punt. That's a big stop for the Bucks here.
Southern is pulling the guard, and I guess he's taking that space, and he has great speed to get back. Almost blocked. Dunmore did have a block punt last week against Ligonier Valley that resulted in a 2-point conversion.
And that was Harity who blocked it last week.
Did.
And honestly, Bob, he didn't get the block, but I think he influenced that kick a little bit because Dunmore's going to get decent field position. They're going to mark the football at the 31-yard line. So good job by the Dunmore special teams.
So Dunmore's keeping that Southern offense off the field. They'll have the ball. They still trail by 8, but the scoring has kind of calmed down a little bit. No scoring here in the second quarter yet. Vito. That hole is covered up quickly. No gain on the play. And for Dunmore, Toyota key to the game. Make no mistakes and no penalties. That's what Coach Hen just wants to see.
Yeah, the mistakes, not too many. The penalties, maybe a couple too many. But so far, Dunmore's played a pretty crisp game. You got to remember, you say, well, they've given up 21 points. But you got to remember who they've given up 21 points to. I mean, they're one score away from tying this game. That's all that's relevant at this point.
Dunmore came out and showed they wanted to play in this game. They got Southern to fumble it. Now Shoemaker goes into a tight end kind of position for blocking. Then Vito up, but not much room. He's taken down.
Yeah, Dunmore wants to keep them honest. They want to keep them to third and, you know, situations where it's third down and not 10, 12, 13. And yeah, is 3rd and 7 the best situation, Bob? Not really. But it's something that Dunmore can manage. Now they have to find some better ways here to connect in the passing game. They did it early, but Gavin has missed a couple times here.
Here comes the big rush. Trying to hit O'Malley. They thought, the coaching staff over there, you can see, thought that Chicatano had a hand on O'Malley, and maybe he did on the backside. No flag down. Here comes another punt from the Bucks.
Well, you know, we've seen Dunmore get pressure on the defensive end. This time Southern brings the blitz. They're the ones who get the pressure and get just out of the reach of the intended receiver. And
yeah, I didn't see anything for a flag there.
that was good coverage for Chicatano.
So after our first, let's see, 10 minutes of this game, we had all offense. Last few possessions, we've had all defense. This is a nice high kick, pushes both guys back, and just dies right at the 25-yard line.
Nice job by Damiano. Again, kind of shifts the field position a little bit. Dunmore Lumber, the most trusted distributor for all of your building and lumber needs, wants to congratulate the Dunmore Bucks for a terrific season. Good luck tonight on your quest for the state championship. Dunmore Lumber, we're local, you're local. Well, Bob, it's been a very entertaining quarter and a half so far. You can't ask for much more. And again, it's really what you want to see this time of the year. I mean, both these fan bases know they've been rolling through the playoffs. Dunmore had a tough game last week, got through it, came from behind actually. Southern really has done a good job of just staying focused. You're #1 in the state all year long. This is a team that got to the championship game last year with all these young players. Didn't work out for them last year, but probably built them up for this year. And there's no doubt they were the favorite coming in, but Dunmore has held their own.
Again, the winner next week, next Friday, at 1 o'clock at Hershey Stadium, taking on either.
We have an update on that score. It's now 21-21.
Wilmington and Washington just got a score, tied at 21 on the other side of the bracket.
A lot of scoring in the 2A semifinals tonight on both sides of the state. And it's unusual, too. We're going to actually have a true Eastern and Western final because the brackets have been so confusing over the last several years. Sometimes you have 2 West teams playing. Sometimes you have an East and West team playing, like Dunmore last week. So, again, pretty good games going on throughout the state.
Well, Darmo chased, almost tackled behind the line of scrimmage. A whole host of Dunmore players there. We're going to give him about maybe 2 yards. Let's call it 3.
Yeah, somebody caught him by the shirt. Let's see if we can see on the replay. They kind of spun him around, slowed him down. That was Overholtz again. Couldn't throw him down. Good strength by Rodarmel. Keeps going forward till the Bucks can get there for a second time, but it's a decent first down gain for a player who is kind of being thrown in there. But you can see a lot of depth for the Tigers for that another sophomore.
Oh, blue movement up front.
We have a flag on the play.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
So you know Coach Roth not happy. Second possession in a row that they've had a false start.
Well, again, Dunmore's doing a good job up front. They're causing Southern to some headaches, you know, getting through gaps and pressuring the quarterback. So give Dunmore some credit for that.
Looking Fleming's way, little in pattern. Good move on Borgia. Going to be knocked out of bounds. I think he's going to be past the 35, and it's a DePietro's Pharmacy first down for Southern Columbia.
One thing about Fleming, too, is obviously the talent level's there, but the intimidation is there, too, Bob. His size, his reputation, and if you watch on this play, Borgia kind of freezes for a second. Breaks down like you're supposed to, but he lets Fleming dictate where it's going, and that's tough to do with a guy that good.
Out to him again.
That's what you
He
do
loses
right
the
there.
ball. Was it a catch?
No, should be an incomplete pass.
Dunmore has the ball. Refs are going to talk.
That should be an incomplete pass, Bob. Let's see what the referees rule, though. I don't think he ever had a hold of. Great. Borgia jumps back. This is what he needs to do, though. Perfect throw. I don't think he ever had it.
Nope, and they're going to, on the field, they're going to call it an incomplete
Now,
pass. And
there was
see a flag.
Flag there, which
Incomplete pass.
was that picked up?
Yeah, I guess it was because there was no signal.
Maybe they were marking where the fumble was, if there
Maybe.
was one.
Maybe he pulled out the wrong.
Wrong.
Yep,
Usually it's a
and
beanbag.
Beanbag, yeah.
Right. That's a big hit by Borgia, though. Nice recovery after the tough play on the previous play.
They go back to Garcia. Has a pulling guard, and he picks up about 7 near the 45. Leading the way, Connor Fulmer, a 6'3", 245-pound senior.
Stopped by number 77, Mike.
Under 5 minutes to play here in the first half. No scoring here in the second quarter. All of that has come in the first quarter. That's the score we have, 21-13. More movement now.
We have a flag on the play.
Dead ball foul, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Now there's another mistake by Southern, and just can't make those kind of mistakes because Dunmore's going to take advantage of it.
This will back Southern up to the 40 and bring up third down long.
Again, Dunmore, remember earlier in the first quarter, had a 3rd and 5 turn into a 3rd and 10. Here we have a 3rd and 3 turn into a 3rd and 8. Let's see if the Tigers can overcome it.
No rush. They get it over the middle. It's a nice catch by Shikatano. It's a DePietro's Pharmacy first down. Pickup of about 11.
A good throw by Hollenbach. They've kind of been rolling him out a little bit here, Bob, to try to get him some more room, because don't forget the Bucks have already sacked him 3 times tonight. Big hit on the end of this that doesn't jar the ball loose. Nice execution by the Tigers here to get a first down.
Again, Hollenbach was one of those guys last year. He transferred in from Lewisburg. Started last year, and this year's thrown for over 2,200 yards. Just a junior at 6'3". He'll go to the air again. He has a nice arm. He'll get it to the outside, overthrows Fleming. Now, Fleming had some injuries late in the season. He's hobbling now, you can see it. Pull a hamstring, Chris.
Yeah, and that doesn't look good for Southern. He's might have re-aggravated that injury. We'll see how he does on this next play. Good coverage by the Bucks, by the way. Hollenbach just sailed that one a little bit. Even Fleming can't bring that one down. And we've seen him go up and bring one down like that earlier, but we'll keep an eye on Fleming on these next couple plays.
See if Southern goes back to the ground game. They do. Back to Garcia, and he get pulled as a face mask. You saw his head get jerked around. It's going to be a gain of about 10. It will be a DePietro's Pharmacy first down for the Tigers, and that will be helped by the face mask penalty.
Probably going to be the 15 variety, and it is.
Well, that's a mistake by the Bucks, but when you're trying to tackle a guy like Garcia, get a hand in there once in a while.
Yeah, just reaching out and twisted his head. That's automatically going to garner the 15-yard penalty.
Like Borgia got his hand in there.
So Tigers are moving, and Dunmore's going to take a timeout here, Bob. They're going to try to calm their defense down.
Timeout on the field. Take a timeout ourselves here in the Class AA state semifinals. We are back in Danville. Bob I, Chris Gaharski. This is Cox breaking it to the outside. And he's in for a Southern Columbia touchdown. Jeff Cox, 5th touchdown of the season. And a Plaza House Furniture Showroom touchdown for the Tigers.
Same play they ran earlier in the game where he had some success, got a first down run. This time he actually runs into one of his own blockers, but bounces right off him. Dunmore doesn't see the pursuit's not there, and he just gets the corner and jumps into the end zone for a Southern touchdown. They have their first 2-score lead of the evening.
Off and on, extra point is through. So Southern Columbia gets the first touchdown of this quarter. They extend their lead now. 2 touchdowns over Dunmore.
The Petros Pharmacy in Dunmore, a locally owned family pharmacy, is proud to support the Dunmore Bucks, offering friendly, professional service at no extra cost. At no extra cost is what makes them different. Free delivery to all of Lackawanna County. Let them help organize your medication for free. The Petros in Dunmore, your hometown pharmacy.
Second quarter score, Washington 28, Wilmington 21.
So Hoffman putting it down at the 40-yard line.
This will be a big drive for the Bucks.
I was going to say, what kind of drive do they need?
Yeah, I mean, well, 3:44 left. There's two goals here. One, obviously, to get a score before halftime. But the other thing is to have a little bit of a sustained drive, because what you don't want to do is give Southern the ball back. And the way their offense has had some big plays tonight, you leave them a minute and a half, 2 minutes left, they can go down and make it a 3-touchdown game.
Dunmore does get the ball to begin the second half.
Exactly.
So you could swing this back your way if you could get some points on the board before the half if you were the Bucks.
But the problem is Southern's defense has started to figure things out here, and they've gotten, I believe, 4 straight stops on the Bucks here in the second quarter.
Well, the Bucks will have it around the 33-yard line. And that's where they'll take over this very important drive. So here's what the Bucks had in the season. Won the District 2 championship 4th time in a row. That was over Carbondale. And the only trouble they had was last week against Ligonier Valley. It came down to a 4th down play.
That's the team that knocked them out of the playoffs. And, you know, Ligonier Valley came to play Southern Columbia, and Southern Columbia beat them last year. So Southern trying to do it again, get back to the state championship. Dunmore trying to get back there. They lost a couple of years ago, if you remember, I believe to South Fayette. And, you know, both these teams have been there before, though, especially Southern, who's been there half the time.
15 times.
Yep.
Darcy to the air. Down the middle, picked off. Intercepted. Blake Day. Southern has the ball inside Buck territory. Day's first interception of the season, and it's a big one.
Yeah, that's a killer right there. I mean, Dunmore, we just mentioned, trying to sustain a drive, first play, and this is not a good throw. He's missed a couple throws tonight, but this one was not a good throw by Gavin Darcy. He doesn't see the safety, who just jumps right in front of O'Malley. Play's not open, play's not there. Forced by Darcy, and he throws his 7th interception of the season.
Back to Garcia, has room and has some blocking. Garcia in the open. Can't get him down, touchdown Southern Columbia.
Now, remember that interception, Bob. Might be the turning point in this game.
No flags, he stayed in bounds, and it's a Plaza House Furniture touchdown for Cage Garcia.
Couldn't bring him down at the line of scrimmage, and you saw the little cutback there. Again, can't arm tackle him, can't body tackle him. You gotta tackle him like you're taught, and Garcia just too fast, too strong, and Southern starting to pull away here in the late first half.
Hoffman another one. Hoffman this year was 90 of 92 coming in. Now, he's got more than that.
How many points did Dunmore give up coming into this game? 90-something, was it? Or 90?
They averaged 6.5 per game over 14 games, so you do the math. Somewhere near 90.
Well, they've given up 35 here in the first half.
And they kept it close. Here again.
It's just not there. It's just not there. You can't force that. Well played by the Tigers. And again, one play later, this happens.
Doesn't take long for Southern Columbia. There you see the big lineman out in front. And Garcia does the rest, staying in bounds, breaking tackles. And that's why he's going to be one of those top recruits, I think, as well. On the Division I level. There's Jim Roth, 34th season, 410 wins. That's third all time behind Jack Henses and the old coach, George Curry. Hoffman again. He's used to kicking it a lot, and he does. This time Borgia from his 9. Now Dunmore back on.
Dempsey's Fashionable Laundry is a proud supporter of the Dunmore Bucks football program, a family business for over 60 years located on North Blakely Street in Dunmore, offering the lowest dry cleaning prices in the area. Good luck to the Bucks from Dempsey's Fashionable Laundry.
In the past, when Dunmore has turned it over, their defense was able to hold this season. But they haven't played a team like Southern Columbia all year who can answer with 1 or 2 plays, and they've done it all night long. Back to the ground. The fumble. That could have been huge.
Yeah, the Bucks are starting to unravel here, Bob. I mean, the turnover and then just one play. Again, you're kind of down a little bit. You let them go right in the end zone, and now just a handoff. Didn't see what happened. I think actually Darcy kind of bobbled the ball when he was going to go hand it off to Buckley. But again, it's a huge loss for Dunmore here at first down. And now you're just trying to bleed clock. 2:38 remaining.
Tigers have 3 timeouts left.
True.
You know Jim Roth is going to start calling those, because he'll have excellent field position if his defense can hold.
Of course, they haven't needed much time to score. So
no, not at all. Back to the big fullback. He can do some damage. Fleming gets him up high, gets him out of bounds.
Nice job by Damiano. Again, showing he's a little bit light on his feet despite his size. And he steps out of a would-be tackler. Bad news is, well, actually, they said wind the clock. So I guess they said the forward progress was stopped in bounds. Southern opts not to use a timeout.
Maybe they'll use it after the 3rd down play.
And the referee just signaled the play clock too, Bob. So they're going to be able to run another 15 seconds off here. Dunmore taking their time, and it's going to be 3rd and long. And Bucks have to complete a big play downfield. They haven't been able to yet.
Pitch it to the freshman. Up to the original line of scrimmage. The punt team will have to come on.
Now Coach Roth uses a timeout.
Taken down by Chicatano in there. And Tillett.
Yeah, just again, Bucks in some trouble here. They have to get a stop before halftime. They want to stay in this football game. You mentioned they get the ball to start the second half, but you know, you're down 4 touchdowns. That's a tough hurdle to climb, or hill to climb. Not that 3 isn't hard in itself.
Yeah, not at all. Again, the state playoff started in 1988. Southern Columbia has been there 15 times. They've won 7 of them. You thought the competition would get harder when they moved up to AA 2015. Well, they won right to Hershey and won the state title. Lost it last year. Looking to get back, maybe an 8th state championship. Dunmore standing in their way. Southern actually trailed 13-6 in the first quarter, but since then it's been all Tigers.
Plenty of time with 2 timeouts left for this Southern offense, but one more up before halftime.
Southern Columbia takes over.
FNC Bank, serving Dunmore and northeastern Pennsylvania for 107 years, is a proud supporter of Dunmore football program. Good luck, Bucks, from your friends at FNCB, simply a better bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This team averages 50 points per game. They've already put up 35, and we're in the first half. The defense is starting to get their act in gear for the Tigers. And Dunmore road to Hershey's going to get a little bit harder in the second half. They need the hold right here, and why not? Shoemaker shoots in. He's done that most of the evening.
Well, the problem, Bob, is they haven't made those plays enough here in the second quarter. First quarter, the Bucks were in the backfield the whole time, as Southern's going to go no huddle here. They need more of those negative plays early in drives.
To the air. Short little pass to Garcia. Yanisco there, no gain on the play.
Southern's going to use a timeout, their second,
Timeout of the half.
with 46 seconds remaining. So I guess what you could do here, Dunmore, first of all, needs to get the stop on 3rd and 11. If Dunmore gets one, Bob, I think they need to call a timeout and go after the punt. They blocked one last week. They almost blocked one tonight. I mean, down 3 touchdowns, you got to shake things up a little bit. But first they have to get this stop on 3rd down. Suttonberry Motors timeout.
Again, thank to all the sponsors who've made tonight's game possible. Huge crowd on hand, as you might expect. We saw some shots of it before. I'd say nearly 3,000 to 4,000 people have squeezed in here to the Ironman Stadium at Danville High School. The field is brand new this season. Grass last year. The turf is beautiful.
And they got these new LED lights. Southern actually got them at their stadium, too. These are unbelievable. When you look at them, you know, normally when you look at the lights at a stadium, you kind of have to, it's a glare. But these actually point down. I think they use some kind of mirror technology, and you barely can see them. You can just see the glare coming out of the bottom. There's a good shot by our crew there. Really, and the field is perfectly lit.
Yeah, it is.
Great technology.
So on 3rd and long, to the air. They get it out, but Fangio's there. They're going to be short of a first down. They get it out to Zachman, and the punt team will come on for Southern Columbia.
Well, if I'm Dunmore, I'd go after this because you got nothing to lose at this point. You're going to have problems making a big play. You know, unless Borgia can bring one back here, Southern will be in a prevent. Long field to go, and Coach Roth is probably thinking the same thing here, Bob. He's going to call his 3rd timeout, wants to make sure everybody knows their assignment on this impending punt.
Final timeout of the half.
.43 seconds left in the half.
Catafio's Collision Center and the Catafio family are proud supporters of the Dunmore Bucks. Catafio's Collision is a family-owned collision repair shop that can handle all your body repair needs, and they work with all insurance companies and work with their customers on a personal level. It's Catafio's Collision Center.
Well, Christian, early on we talked about the 2 lines. Right now, you think Southern Columbia's lines getting the best of Dunmore for a little bit of time here in the second quarter.
Yeah, I think especially on the defensive side of the ball, Bob. I mean, Dunmore has not been able to move since those first 2 touchdowns. Really, they only had the 1 long drive, and it wasn't even a long drive because they had good field position. Let's see the Bucks high snap.
High snap.
Couldn't get
Gets
penetration.
it out, but it's a short kick. Takes a Tiger bounce. And it's still rolling here on the new turf.
Bucks had it set up for him, just couldn't get the penetration. And if I'm Coach Hens here, Bob, with got to go about 70, actually 73 yards, 29 seconds. Could see a draw play here and go lick their wounds at halftime because, again, they're going to get the ball with a fresh start in the 3rd quarter.
Coming up at the half here on My TV, we'll check in on our Fox 56 News First at 10 update. And Aaron talking pies. Stay tuned. I didn't get any pie, did you?
No pie.
See, exactly. Don Vito up. And Dunmore's going to try to roll this one out, take it into the half. Trailing now 35-13. They'll get the ball to begin the second half.
Yeah, that interception, Bob, was huge. And then Southern scoring on the very next play. 2 touchdown game if you're Dunmore. You know, you're going to get the ball first. Feeling pretty good still. That 30 touchdown deficit makes it a little tougher for the Bucks going into the locker room.
There is Jack Henzis going off. He'll have something to say, I'm sure, to his Bucks. Aaron is trying to catch up with Coach Roth. And let's go down to her right now.
Coach, Dunmore came out swinging, but your guys responded really well. The playmakers, they made those plays they've been making all season long. What can you say about how they responded?
Well, exactly. Stone at quarterback, and of course Julian had some big plays, and Gage, and it's been a team effort since the beginning of the game, and to put this many points up in the first half against a team like this in the year they've had defensively. It's a good half of football. We could do some things a little bit better, but we just got to stay on top of things and come out and play physical ball in the second half as they get the ball to start with.
Coach, thank you.
You're welcome.
28 unanswered points from Southern Columbia, and Jim Roth's Tiger team goes into half up 35-13 in the PIAA Class AA state semifinal. Our halftime show is on the way, and then Chris and I will be back with some stats and highlights and get you ready for the second half here on Friday Night Rivals.
You're watching Wendy's Friday Night Rivals on MyTV WQMY.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Danville High School. It's Dunmore and Southern Columbia for the Eastern Final. We're so glad you could join us tonight. We love bringing you games on MyTV WQMY all season long, and we can't bring you these great games without some great sponsors. And one of those sponsors we really want to thank tonight is Perkins, and you have to come with me and check out the goodies that they gave to our crew tonight. We have some apple cinnamon muffins, we have some chocolate chip cookies, sugar cookies, we have caramel apple pie. How good does that sound? Some cherry pie, some other muffins, and they have an entire holiday bake shop. Why do the work when you can just call Perkins, have them whip up some pies for you this holiday season? They have a chocolate pretzel caramel silk pie, fudge brownie silk pie, of course the classics like apple and cherry, lemon meringue, home-style apple, pumpkin, banana cream, peanut butter silk, coconut cream, and chocolate French silk. So I think we're gonna have some happy crew tonight. Maybe we'll go pass some of this out to some people in the stands, see if they're hungry. But definitely give Perkins a call for all your holiday bake shop needs. Why cook when you can show up at someone's house with something like that? All right, stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. It's the Eastern Conference Final right here on MyTV WQMY. Southern Columbia up 35-13 over Dunmore at the half. We welcome you in, and thanks so much for being a part of tonight's broadcast. I'm Erin Dugan, joined by Bob Ide and Chris Kaharski in the booth. And joining me now, some special guests from fresh out of the bleachers. It's the Bleacher Moms from Southern Columbia. And ladies, who are you rooting for tonight?
I'm rooting for all the Tigers and my son, Jacob Herr.
My son, Ty Rodarmel.
My son, Preston Zachman.
Gage Garcia.
All the cheerleaders.
Lear Quinton.
Max Tillett.
Awesome. And Sandy, I know these guys have been playing together a really long time, right?
They've been playing since midget football, and we're all sophomore moms, so we have 2 more years together to go to states. Hopefully 2 more years.
How much fun do you guys have? I mean, all season long. I mean, I'm sure it's been great.
Just been awesome. It's been phenomenal. Gained a lot of good friends. Been a great season.
So what would it mean to the guys to make it to that state final game?
Oh my God, I think it'd be like awesome. It'd be just like the best day ever for them, honestly. I don't know how else to describe it. It would just be amazing.
That's what they worked for.
Yeah, they're little. They work so hard for this all summer, off season, lifting, doing everything. Everybody can attest to that. It's just been a great season.
Absolutely. We'll have fun in the bleachers, and best of luck to your kids.
Thank you.
All right, stay with us. We'll have some stats and highlights when we come right back. You're watching high school football on MyTV WQMY.
Danville High School at halftime, awaiting both teams to take the field. The Tigers lead the Bucks 35-13. Welcome back inside the Matt Birney press box. Bob Ide and Chris Kaharski. And Chris, boy, this game started out nice and fast for Dunmore. They jumped on Southern Columbia, kind of set the tone, but then the Tigers finally wore the Bucks down as the game wore on.
Yeah, again, Dunmore needed what they needed to do early. They forced a turnover, scored a quick touchdown, got a short field, scored a touchdown. But since then, the Southern defense has been outstanding. The Bucks have not been able to move the ball. They have not been able to make plays downfield. Meanwhile, Southern does what Southern does. They're averaging 50 points a game. Their offense is practically unstoppable, really. It's just too many weapons, and Dunmore was learning that very fast in the second quarter. Bucks get the ball first here to start the second half. They got to get one quick if they want to get back into this game.
Let's recap that first half, take a look at some highlights. And after Dunmore forced a fumble from Southern, they got the ball back in the first play. They scored the first touchdown of the game.
Yeah, beautiful play there. And then Southern comes back now, and Hollenbach, after a couple big plays, actually a big Gage Garcia run, Hollenbach goes in for the touchdown. Bucks again, though. Damiano, the big fullback, didn't hurt them on the ground at all, but this big pass play set up the Bucks' second score. And it was because of a Damiano punt earlier that got them some field position. And then this is a great run by Don Vito. Never gave up, never went down, and heads into the end zone for the second Bucks touchdown. But here's where Southern went on their run. You watch Fleming here. Great grab, missed tackle, and then he's off to the races. Does get caught from behind.
And that's why everybody's looking at him. Michigan, Penn State, James Franklin was here.
No doubt. And right here you see a little bobble there by Garcia, but business as usual for Southern. Now this is another great throw by Hollenbach, though. I mean, yes, Fleming makes the catch, but you can't lay that in any better. Here's Cox bouncing off a would-be tackler. He heads to the end zone. And then the big turnover. I think this is the biggest play of the game so far, Bob. Again, Dunmore goes down, only 2 touchdowns. You know, you're thinking they have a real good chance. But right here, this turnover, and then the very, very next play, Garcia, I think Bucks were down a little bit at this point. Nice little cutback there. 4 straight touchdowns for Southern Columbia. And again,
Garcia, 2,000 yards now on the season, and he has 100 yards tonight.
Yeah. And give credit to Southern up front, too. I mean, with the running game, Bob, they have been very good. The pass protection's been a little shaky at times. Dunmore has 3 sacks on the evening, but it hasn't been enough for the Bucks.
Southern Columbia's longest drive, 6 plays. That's it. It's taken them 6 plays. They've had 3 that have taken 2 plays. So the Tigers take the field, looking to head to Hershey for the 16th time to pick up their 8th state title. But the Bucks still in the way, and we have a half to play here in the PIAA Class AA semifinals.
You're watching Wendy's Friday Night Rivals on MyTV WQMY.
We are back, both teams on the field, getting ready for the second half here with a chance to play in the state finals next Friday at 1 o'clock, and Hershey still on the line. Southern, though, with a big lead over Dunmore. Well, we mentioned Julian Fleming, Chris, but before the game, there was a big cheer-up of "We Are Penn State," because guess who was here? James Franklin, the head coach, playing a little catch with some guys from Southern Columbia.
Yeah, maybe some future Lions right there on the field. Coach Franklin always looking out, but it's nice to see him appreciate high school football here in the state. Obviously, you know, towns like Dunmore and school districts like Southern Columbia, it's huge. It's a huge part of the community, and Coach Franklin, I've seen him at many games, including Hershey. He'll show up in Hershey, too. And, you know, it's part of recruiting, too, but I think he understands how important it is.
Well, when he came in, he said he wanted to win the state back, and he's done that. There are a lot of kids from Pennsylvania now going to Penn State. He's looking at some here tonight. Not those guys yet, but there are some guys on the field that could end up in the blue and white next year, the year after. Penn State will find out where they go bowling Sunday when it's announced for the BCS.
Well, I'm not going to say it's the game, Bob, but a huge drive coming up for Dunmore here on the
biggest of the year. You would have to say.
If you want to win, if you want to get to the state championship game, you got to get to you got to kind of repeat the first half. Get it out to that quick start somehow.
Hoffman tees it up. Second half underway. Borgia bobbles it. Cuts through and he gets in the opening. He's got some speed. Garcia rips him down. Wrestling move. Garcia does do that for the Tigers. Dunmore will have good field position to begin this drive. And Aaron, you had a chance to talk to Coach Henzis. What does he want to see from his Bucks in this second half?
Well, Bob, Coach Henzis was not happy with some of the mistakes he saw in the first half and some dropped passes, but he said, hey, Southern Columbia is a fine football team. Got to give them credit. And then I asked him about the players coming out. The players are really pumped up, pumping each other up, saying this is not over. We got this. Watch us. I said, was that, you know, the theme coming out of the locker room? He said, yeah, absolutely. We're in this. We have to play hard and capitalize on mistakes if they make them.
Darcy's pass.
Thank you, Aaron. First pass, second half, Darcy throws it into the ground.
They had a receiver open, Borgia, I believe, and Darcy can ill afford, I should say, to not make those plays. When you have a receiver open, and there haven't been many open today, Southern's secondary has done a good job in coverage, Bob. You got to make that play, and I like the play action call. And they might have to, they might have to rely on the passing game the rest of this game because, again, the running game has gone nowhere. 82 total yards in that first half for the Bucks.
Yeah, they averaged 307 on the season. So Southern doing a nice job on that. Damiano nowhere to go, and the big fullback, no gain, third and long on the way for the Bucks.
Yeah, nice job up front by the Southern defense that time. I believe it was Cavern Kozeminski who actually kind of just stuffed everybody in there for the Dunmore offensive line. That gave his linebackers a chance to kind of come up and make the play. And Dunmore, again, we said this in the first half, Bob, you don't want to be 3rd and 10.
Coach Henzis talking to Jeff Mills, you see that when I was up there during practice a couple weeks ago, preaching we have to be able to run the ball. Well, just 30 yards of rushing tonight for his Bucks team. Darcy's taken down from a sack. Shooting it is Lear Quinton. 4.5 sacks on the season, and another.
Yeah, and it's a big one from the standpoint it pushes Dunmore all the way back to the 25. They come with a blitz once again. Just Dunmore has it blocked for a little bit, but not long enough to give the Bucks Gavin Darcy time to throw, and now Damiano will punt it away, and Southern's going to get good field position.
Garcia and Fleming, both threats to return it, but takes a big bounce by Fleming. Fangio thought maybe he touched it. He did not, but Southern will have the ball in their own territory to start their first possession of the second half at the 29-yard line.
The Dunmore Mayor, Patrick Lotney, and Borough Council want to congratulate the Dunmore Bucks and tell them that we are all behind you in your quest for the state championship. Go Bucks.
The Bucks will need some support. They trail this one by 22. Garcia with room to the outside. Gets a block. Still on his feet, Cage Garcia. Touchdown, Southern Columbia. Cage Garcia, another Plaza House Furniture touchdown for the Tigers. What a block when he got to the outside.
73 yards on the play, and again, they ran this earlier in the game. Dunmore had no answer, and they definitely had no answer here. There's the pulling guard getting out in front. That's number 53, Andrew Bell, gets a pancake block there, and then just the speed of Garcia. Again, just a little cutback, nothing fancy, but Dunmore doesn't tackle well down in the secondary, and Southern putting this one away here early in the second half.
Yeah, this one's getting out of reach for the Bucks. Southern extends their lead now over Dunmore as we head to the break.
Petros Pharmacy in Dunmore, a locally owned family pharmacy, is proud to support the Dunmore Bucks. Offering friendly professional service and no extra cost is what makes them different. Free delivery to all of Lackawanna County. Let them help organize your medication for free. The Petros in Dunmore, your hometown pharmacy.
73 yards now for Cage Garcia. Over 2,000 on this season and 35 unanswered from the Tigers. This will be McDade from his 16. Up to the 30. Well, it's an uphill battle now for the Bucks. They can throw the ball, but the secondary is really blanketing the receivers from Dunmore tonight.
Yes, again, Southern, the slow start, but the defense since then, Bob, has been the difference in this game. We knew Southern was going to put up points, even against that good Dunmore defense. But, you know, the offense has struggled from the second quarter on. They haven't been able to really move the ball. Again, negative yards on that last drive. They're probably somewhere around under 70 yards now for the game. But again, they just have no answers at this point. See if they can dig down a little deep inside here and find something that works.
DePietros Pharmacy first down, 1st and 10 to begin this drive. Back to the ground game, and Damiano up for about 2 yards. Morocco loses his helmet. He'll have to come off. That's the first positive running play in a while for the Bucks, as the Southern defense has put the clamp on them.
Yeah, Damiano, again, not finding much room there. Black shirts pretty much everywhere. And see Morocco there. He'll get a play off, but nonetheless, you see the Bucks a little frustrated at this point.
Don Vito up past the 35.
That's a decent second down run, Bob. And again, if Dunmore could have gotten in more situations like this in the second quarter, you know, they might have another touchdown or two on the board. But the third downs have been long, and they have not been able to convert. This one's a little better at 3rd and 4.
Dunmore is missing their left guard tonight. Rocco LaCapra was banged up last week. Anthony Cashmere in there, number 70, playing tonight. So a big 3rd down for the Bucks. Play action. I don't know if that was dropped or a bad pass. It was trying to hit Unisco, the tight end. He had a 1st down.
That's the second receiver the Dunmore has had wide open here in the 3rd quarter. And again, the pressure from Southern Columbia kind of forces, and he just too far out in front of him, Bob.
The little mistakes are what Coach Hen just talked about. The fumble here and there, missed opportunities, drop passes. You can do it against, you know, the not so good teams, and they've been lucky so far. Not that 14-0 has been lucky. They're a good football team, Chris. But when you face a team like Southern Columbia, they look even bigger, don't they?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, when you play good football teams, mistakes usually come back and bite you. When you make mistakes against teams of lesser quality, well, you know, you'll make it up on the next drive. You'll make it up on the next defensive stand. I mean, Dunmore has not been challenged very much this year, Bob. Their schedule was a little bit weak because of the conference was down. They played 9 conference games because they play in a 10-conference league. So, you know, their starters didn't even play full games. That's good from a health standpoint. Usually keeps you a little healthier. But
and they have been healthy.
Yeah, but it also, you know, limits your reps. And look at that catch.
Fleming over the middle. Right after DePietros' 1st down marker. I think he'll have it.
What I like about Fleming is yes, he's got talent. He's got speed. He's got size. But he does things right. Look at this where he catches that ball right in his hands, Bob. That earlier pass where he almost scored the touchdown, caught it at the high point. You know, coaches will tell you the receiver who wants the ball is going to get the ball, or the defensive back who wants to get the ball is going to get the ball if you go catch it at the high point. And Fleming's just good fundamentally. Only a sophomore. It's hard to believe.
Bell pulling again. He gets Garcia through, and he uses a stiff arm. Garcia again, down the sidelines. Can't get him out of bounds. 2 in a row for Cage Garcia. No flags. Another Southern Columbia touchdown, and the Tigers roll on with another Plaza House Furniture Showroom touchdown. And they extend their lead.
Yeah, and they're running downhill now. This is I believe, his third touchdown in his last 3 touches, I believe, or close to it. He had the one right before halftime, and again, can't even push him out of bounds. He does a little stiff arm there, and Garcia is just as talented as Fleming, to be honest with you. He might have the peripherals that Fleming has, but he's just as talented.
Flag comes in, they hit the kicker. Probably be assessed on the kickoff. A 60-yard jaunt. Gage Garcia. 230 yards for the sophomore on the ground.
Cali's Don Tomaso has been serving the finest pizza in Dunmore since 1997. Jay Cali and the entire staff invite you to come down and try their amazing Italian sub. Call ahead for takeout or delivery, 570-341-9604. It's Don Tomaso's Pizza.
36-point lead for Southern Columbia.
We have a third quarter score.
They'll meet Wilmington or Washington.
Wilmington 35.
And Chris, they say 35 all in that game, I believe?
I believe so.
Wilmington and Washington, and there you see Garcia. Boy, once he gets into open space, he has really been tough to take down all season long.
You can see the strength there, but he's a wrestler too.
Yep.
Placed 5th in the state as a freshman last year. So that upper body strength, the lower body strength, you can see why he'd be a good wrestler. Unbelievable though, balance. He's got the whole package. I mean, it's a tough offense to stop because of those two guys, and then the supporting cast obviously is very good as well. Pick your poison though when you go up against the Tigers.
So now the clock will continue to run with the 36-point lead, and who knows the last time Dunmore was in this position. Okay, this is Borgia from his 5. Tillett, even with that arm wrapped up, brings down Borgia. There you see the cast.
Number 8, Max Tillett.
Joe Tomko, Vice President of Commercial Banking at Fidelity Bank, wishes the Bucks good luck in tonight's game.
18-yard line. First and 10 Bucks.
So from the 18, the Bucks will have it. We're in the third quarter. This is long from being over on the clock anyway. On the scoreboard, that may be another story at this juncture. This is Buckley, and he's not going anywhere. Loss of 2 from the freshman. And coming up was Zachman, I believe. Yep, the sophomore. Boy, every time I say it, I still can't believe sophomore, junior, freshman, sophomore, freshman, junior. I mean,
it's a young
it's
team.
It's amazing.
But the talent is just, it's hard to believe kids this young could be this good. And they're only going to get better. I mean, granted, they got an experience last year. They got handed to them in the state championship game by a very, very good Steel Valley team, a very experienced Steel Valley team. And I'm sure those kids remember that, and I'm sure that was some incentive coming into this year, because right now, they are the favorite to win the state championship next week, no matter who they play, Wilmington or Washington.
Stop by number 7, Tyler Bendis, and number 67, Lear Quinn.
Give Dunmore a lot of credit, though. They have been in this position last 3 or 4 years, maybe 3 out of the 5 to the state finals or near in the semifinals. They continue to get to this point every year, but they haven't won a title, since 1989.
Yeah, got there a couple times, just couldn't finish the deal, but it's such a successful program. Just stayed to the ground, and Don Vito.
Yep, Don Vito still chugging along. It's a DePietro's Pharmacy first down for Dunmore. Past the 31. That's their first one in a long time.
Bob, when you look across the state brackets, at the Pennsylvania Football News, obviously we do that a lot. It's amazing how you see the same teams over and over and over. Yeah, you'll get a new one every once in a while, like Middletown has emerged now,
yes.
A team that beat Scranton Prep last week. But it's the same programs, and it's because the programs are well coached. The community is invested, and that's what these two schools are right here. You know, Southern's going to go to the state championship game again, but Dunmore's tradition and everything else they do from a football standpoint is just as impressive.
Absolutely.
As we have an injury on the play.
We do, and that is Damiano, the big fullback for the Bucks. Training staff will come out, take a look at him, maybe cramping up a little bit.
There's Jack Henses again. What a great man. Not just a great football coach, great family man. Great teacher. When you ask people about Coach Henses, you'll hear very great stories. And you know what? He had a tough act to follow. His father is in the Football Coaches Hall of Fame, was a legendary coach at Blakely High School. And he was on his staff when he was younger, but he kind of went out on his own and established this Dunmore tradition. And, you know, again, it's not always easy to do that.
Nope.
And he's played Dunmore football for all those years. It's been the same formula. It's definitely old school. And he's adjusted to the times when he's had to, but just a great football coach and a great person.
Well, they make the time. I mean, you talk about Dunmore. This team, some of these guys will be in the weight room next week, getting ready for next season. And that's what programs do. That's why you see those same names. They're in the weight room. They make the commitment.
You know, that's why this game was so special for me to be here. You know, I've known Coach Henses my whole life. I've known Coach Roth for a lot of years, and I respect these two gentlemen so much. One, because you know, they have just dedicated their lives to the sport. And you're not going to see guys staying at schools that long anymore. It just doesn't happen. You could be successful for 10 years, and 2 years later, you're out on your butt. And that's unfortunate because I think people lose sight of what it's about. It's Dunmore trying to get to the outside there, but still not much room for Buckley, and they'll be forced to punt the football away. But back to my point, you know, coaching is a sacrifice. You sacrifice time with your family, with your kids. The spouses are, and you ask any of them, spouses are the angels because they put up with the long film nights, and these two guys have done it better than anybody in this state who are currently coaching. I mean, there's a lot of great coaching in the state.
And their staffs. Don't forget about
their
their
staffs.
staffs.
There's no doubt.
Good kick by Damiano, and Fleming has to call for a fair catch at his 35, and that's where Southern Columbia will take over this possession, up 36 points.
Northeastern Rehabilitation Associates is the region's premier physician group specializing in sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation. Their sports medicine team includes sports medicine fellowship trained physicians Dr. Cheryl Oleski and Kelly Williams. The concussion care clinic team, led by Paul Horchus, is dedicated to safely returning patients to sports and other normal life activities. Northeastern Rehabilitation Associates is proud to support Dunmore football. Go Bucks!
So is the 9th punt for the Bucks tonight. Haven't seen that in a long time, and that's going to be a false start. We've seen that tonight from Southern Columbia several times.
On the offensive side of the ball, except for the turnover, that's probably been about the only mistakes they have made. And you know what? Coach Roth will emphasize that this week in practice. You do that against Wilmington or Washington, that might end up costing you. It hasn't hurt them tonight. They've been too good in the other phases of the game, but you know, nonetheless, the coaches will never be satisfied. You know that, not until they're lifting gold up at Hershey.
Dunmore shoots through DePietro's Pharmacy, first down for Ty Rodarmo, another sophomore, pick up 12.
And again, I mentioned this the last drive. They're just running downhill now. I think the Dunmore defense is tired. They've been on the field a long time. Again, the offense hasn't been able to sustain drives. And, you know, got a lot of two-way kids. Small schools usually do. But it's been, you know, all Southern since the second quarter on, and Dunmore's been fighting. They're still fighting, but it's just too much right now. And you can see Southern has controlled the line of scrimmage.
This is Cox. That is nice game as well. For 11, another DePietro's Pharmacy first down for Southern. Just going to keep it on the ground, keep working the clock, wearing down Dunmore. And boy, we saw Shoemaker, Overholtz getting in there in that first half, but since then, Southern has shut those guys down from the penetration in the backfield.
I thought Dunmore did a decent job against the pass.
Yeah.
They got pressured at 3 sacks in that first half, and Fleming made a couple plays, but he's going to do that. He had 4 catches in that first half, but but the running game they haven't had an answer for really in this game, and that's a credit to the Southern offensive line.
And there you see the line with a push before Darnell could even be touched. He's 6 yards downfield.
Listen, not only are you tired from playing tonight, it's a long season, Bob.
Yep.
It really, really is. And you have a little more adrenaline when you look up at that scoreboard and you're up 45, 45-13, 49-13, I should say. And it's a little bit easier, to get up after that tackle or after that block. And Dunmore's still fighting, but it's just tough right now in the Bucks.
Cox bounces outside up to about the 23-yard line.
Clock will continue to run here, and the sportsmanship rule. Pushed out of bounds there by Fangio.
Starting to probably bring in some of the backups soon as we head to the fourth quarter for Jim Roth's team. But, in honor of, the seniors, even on Dunmore, I'm sure Coach Hensas will let them play out. Let them finish the career on the field or come off to a big ovation, which they deserve. So with under a minute to play, there's a timeout called. I believe Southern Columbia called it.
Eugenia Photography, voted Best Photographer by the Scranton Times 4 years in a row, is proud to offer an amazing photo experience to families and newborns at an affordable price. Eugenia DePietro would like to wish the Dunmore Bucks and the Don Vito boys good luck. Let's go Bucks.
So the defense coming back onto the field for the Bucks. Again, we mentioned those 6 straight shutouts in the regular season. And that's pretty impressive as well because, as we'll tell you about tomorrow's game first, tomorrow our crew's back at it. We'll be back down to Central PA as Vermont takes on the Bucknell Bison. We'll be on the air at 7 o'clock. Out to the outside, Rodarmo.
So the Bucks right now just trying to get a stop here, and Southern, they're satisfied to let clock run.
And the referees are even waiting. They don't even have to run a play. They waited until it was under 23 on the clock of the game before they started the play clock. And so we'll get to the Plaza House Furniture Red Zone when we return. Southern Columbia looks like they're headed for the 16th time to the state finals. One more quarter to go here from Danville.
You're watching Wendy's Friday Night Rivals on MyTV WQMY.
We are back. State semifinals, Class AA. We're in Danville, Montour County, at Ironman Stadium. Bob Ide, Chris Kaharski, and Aaron Dugan. Southern Columbia just trying to wrap this one up, go out without any injuries, as they'll head to Hershey next Friday at 1 o'clock. Take on either Wilmington or Washington in the state finals. This will be the 3rd straight trip for the Tigers to the state finals, Chris. They won it in 2015? Lost last year, and they'll be the favorite again this year. next week.
Yeah, Wilmington has taken the lead on Washington in that other semifinal. I think I heard 42-35, so good one going on the western side
It
of the
is a
state.
wild one, yep.
Still one more week of football to go. Hershey, Pennsylvania, 3 days of great high school football action.
Rodarmo inside the 10. We're in the Plaza House red zone.
Again, Southern not doing anything fancy now. They're just running the ball off tackle, just trying to play some power football at this point. And again, running clock.
Cox stood up, and there's a whistle. He's at the 5, and he's going to be about a yard short from the first down, so 3rd and 1 on the way for the Tigers.
What a nice run for this Dunmore team. Not just this year, but last year they get to the quarterfinals. 4 seniors on the offensive line, the quarterback, fullback. You know, they'll have some good skill players coming back next year, but they're going to have to rebuild that offensive line, defensive line, Bob, and it's been a dominant one.
It has.
For the Bucks, which, listen, they're known for that. I don't know where they keep getting the kids from, but it's amazing. They've sent a bunch of Division I kids. Obviously, you go back to Tim Ruddy and playing in the NFL, and, you know, it's...
So Rodarmo cashes in. It's a Plaza House Furniture touchdown for the Tigers again.
That's just some exclamation point on the night. Again, Southern just able to run the football. Good blocking up front once again by the Southern offensive line. And Tigers are ready for some Hershey kisses.
Have your attention, please. Please refrain from throwing anything onto the field or the track.
Hoffman with another extra point.
Please refrain from throwing
Now it's
anything in the field or the
56-13.
track.
We'll take a quick timeout,
The offending school
and we'll be back to Danville.
to the cleanup.
49 straight points. Tigers trying to wrap this one up in Danville and head back to the state finals. They're going to kick off again. Got some new faces in there on the kickoff team. That's what took the time, trying to just get those guys in and out at this point. Starters now going to get a rest. And you get ready for next Friday at 1 o'clock. So Hoffman again doing the kicking. Aaron talked about him. Good kicker from the soccer team, maybe headed either to a Patriot League team, but you know, word is he really likes a school close to home.
Joe Tomko, Vice President of Commercial Banking at Fidelity Bank, wishes the Bucks good luck in tonight's game.
So Darcy back out. I mean, he's thrown for over 1,500 yards this year. Again, he'll get ready for the javelin. The defending state champion, right, Chris?
You're correct.
Did that.
Correct.
So
Very
28
strong.
touchdowns. I mean, he's one of the better quarterbacks ever to come out of Dunmore.
He had a great season, really did, especially because the running game was kind of hampered by injuries, and when they had to make big pass plays, they did. I didn't throw over 10 passes in any game till the playoffs. Yet his numbers look like he was throwing 30 times a game. You see Jim Roth. You know, we talked about Coach Hens's and the amazing career he's had. You look at Jim Roth's numbers, and what he has done here at Southern is just absolutely amazing. To build this program to where he has, Bob, it's really unprecedented in the state and maybe even in the country. You know, to have success that long, I mean, what's his career record? 60-some losses? That's it?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, this is the big fullback rumbling and bumbling. Frank Damiano going the distance. 65-yard touchdown for the senior, and that's a great way to cap his career here with the Bucks.
Yeah, he's a fighter. I'll tell you, he stepped into a role that he's probably not suited for when all the backs were injured. He became the tailback. He was used to running people over for his tailbacks, and he had a great stretch when he did that. And you see here, he never just found a big hole. Good blocking by the Bucks up front, and show a little steam there.
Yeah.
Damiano coming against some of the second teamers, but nonetheless, like you said, Bob, a senior who could say he scored a touchdown in the state semifinal.
Number 3, Mark Rinaldi, into attempt to point after.
Mark Rinaldi on for the extra point. Player of the year in soccer in the Lackawanna League. Oh, a high snap. And he'll be sacked. He'll be taken down, and the extra point will be officially no good.
20 remaining in the fourth quarter. Southern Columbia 56 and Dunmore 19.
Nardozzi's Pizza, proudly serving Dunmore since 1959, home of the 2 large plain pizzas for just $18.45. Open 7 nights a week. Call 570-961-9911. Follow them on Facebook for weekly specials. Good luck, Bucks, from Nardozzi Pizza.
Oh, breaks the Southern Columbia streak of scoring here in this game, for the time being at least. Dunmore will kick this one off. Yeah, Jim Roth, 63 losses, 410 wins, 2 ties.
Well, it'll be interesting, Southern's matchup next week, Bob, because I don't know much about Wilmington or Washington, just what I hear from the people. We have somebody in every district that kind of does reports on, so I've never seen them play. I know the Whippeal this year was down a little bit in 2A. Washington's a good football team, don't get me wrong, but they didn't have the powerhouse like Steel Valley last year. Steel Valley had a couple Division I kids. I mean, they were a very good football team, as Southern Columbia could attest to. I think definitely this year, whoever comes out of the West, Southern's going in the favorite. Don't know if it's a heavy favorite, light favorite. I'm not sure about that. We'll find out next week. But it should be a good one on Friday. Hope a lot of people make their way down to Hershey.
Brett Schuler, a senior, returns this for Southern Columbia.
Matt Burney Honda is proud to join the community in congratulating the Dunmore Bucks on their achievements this season. They wish all the best to Coach Henzes and the team. Go Bucks from Matt Burney Honda.
Chris and I are in the Matt Burney Honda press box tonight here at Danville High School. Enjoying this one, a full press box to say the least. 4 radio stations, TV station, and some reporters from all the papers from around the area. Of course, when it gets this far, there's a lot of interest in these games. Why not?
Especially this one with the marquee power of the 2 programs.
So off the left side, that's Nate Krull, number 3.
Yeah, you're going to have to start looking at your roster sheet now, Bob, for both teams. You're going to see a lot of new players in, and Southern just keeps throwing them out there, don't they?
Yeah, he's their sophomore.
He might be starting on most of the teams in District 4. You know, the thing, too, I want to throw out there to people, too, even if your team isn't down at Hershey, Bob, I really got to emphasize, people who haven't been down there need to go down and experience the state playoffs. It's a really good time. You see some great high school football. I've been there for some legendary games. As tackle for a loss there by the Bucks defense. It's actually a great weekend to bring the family. Even if the wife and the kids don't want to go to football, go down with your buddies. Let them go shopping at the outlets. Let them go to the Christmas stuff.
Yeah, Hershey's a beautiful town.
It is a great experience. And, again, if you're a football fan and you haven't been there, you're missing out. You really are. It's you know, it's not expensive. You're not in a big city where, you know, it's going to cost you $200 for dinner, or the hotel room would be crazy. And, again, the only downside of it, they play 4 games on the weekdays.
Yeah.
But there's no way around that.
Not anymore with the 6 classifications.
Right. 2 games on Thursday, 2 on Friday, and 2 on Saturday. You say, well, why don't they just play Sunday? Well, that's actually the snow day. And I've seen some snow down in Hershey. Luckily, the PIAA did have the right thing in mind, moving the dates back, which is what they did.
Yep.
So
Shane Miller quarterbacking, looks like number 11.
So we're not starting a week before Christmas now.
Well, we mentioned this will be easy for you, but we'll give the folks at home a little bit of time. We saw Jack Henzis. We know Jim Roth. They're 2-3 in the state. They're most active, but who's the all-time winningest coach in Pennsylvania history? Give you a couple minutes. Chris and I know this one, but at home you might be looking it up. Or if you're a high school football fan, you definitely know who this one is. And that's brought to you by Geisinger Care Works. So clock rolling down now. Dunmore with many of their starters still in the game.
Number 24, Cade Lynn on the carry.
As Cade Lynn
Stop for no gain.
carries it. And who is the all-time winningest coach in Pennsylvania, Chris?
That would be the general, George Curry. The great coach passed away a couple years ago, and I can tell you, a great football man, just a great family man. Can't say enough about Coach Curry. I've known him since I knew him since I was a little kid. His son's a good friend of mine. It's the whole family.
One thing I will always remember is we did his last football game ever against Scranton Prep at Scranton. And at that point, you know, he had ALS, and that was really taking its toll on him. I made sure at a point to get up on the bus, make sure I said my thoughts last time I ever saw him. It's something you always remember.
FNCB Bank, serving Dunmore and northeastern Pennsylvania for 107 years. It's a proud supporter of the Dunmore football program. Good luck, Bucks, from your friends at FNCB. Simply a better bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I think it's just a matter of time that Jim Roth overtakes George Curry. He's 45 behind him. Jim Roth just 61 years old. If he stays healthy and stays coaching and has teams like he has, putting up, 16 wins a season. I'm not good at math. You had the 800s on the math. How many years till he passes Coach Curry?
How many is he behind right now?
Oh, come on. 45.
I don't have it in front of me, but
45.
Another 3 years.
Divided by 16.
Yeah, 3 or 4 years at the most. And
at the most, yep.
You know, I don't know if that's what Coach Roth's goal is. I think he just loves to coach football.
Well, it may be, yeah.
Yeah, I think that he'll coach as long as he still loves it. That's why Coach Henzis is there. That's why he's on the sideline. He's not on for records. He's on there at sidelines because he lives and breathes football. He loves his kids. He loves his coaches.
Loves his gardening. Which your
definitely
dad
loves
and
his
I
gardening.
Talked about that.
You know, you talk about George Curry, and I was blessed to grow up in a football family. And you know, my father was just inducted into the High School Coaches Football Hall of Fame this past summer. But growing up, I was around all these guys.
Yep.
I remember sleeping in our cabin at Pine Forest Football Camp up in the Poconos with Coach Papa Bear, Jack Henz's dad. He was the guy who was kind of supposed to take care of us and watch over us, but he'd sleep and we'd be having pillow fights and stuff. But around all those great coaches, it wasn't just high school coaches from this area, legends like George Curry and Jack Henz's, and I could go down the list. It goes forever. There were college coaches there like Jack Bicknell, who ended up coaching at Boston College, NFL coaches there. Sal Retigliano, if you remember him, he used to coach the Cleveland Browns. The Peter Kuskis, who were from Old Forge originally.
Yeah.
I mean, just an amazing experience. And those kids who went in the 70s and 80s, Bob, who went to that camp were coached by those guys. But then the NCAA changed everything. And you couldn't go, those coaches couldn't go to camps like that anymore. And that camp kind of went away. And I give Jerry Prosciutti a lot of credit. A lot of memories created, and a lot of great football players went through those camps. But the coaches would stick out to me because I was around them. Even when I was a little guy, it was funny. Jack Bicknell was one of the highest profile coaches there. You know what kids he was coaching? Not the seniors and juniors going into high school. He was coaching the 7 and 8 year olds. And it was a great experience. Times have changed though, no doubt.
Some of the other classmen and JVs getting a chance to play in the state semifinals.
Wilmington has gone up another touchdown, Bob. So 49-35 in the fourth quarter, unless Washington makes a miracle comeback. It's like Wilmington's going to get back to the state championship game. I'm pretty sure, I looked at it earlier today, they have not won one. They've been there a couple times, I believe. I'd have to double check the Pennsylvania Football News website.
Number 47, Trey Damiano.
Nice high kick. Down by Unisco.
On the 33-yard line.
The Petros Pharmacy in Dunmore, a locally owned family pharmacy, is proud to support the Dunmore Bucks. Offering friendly, professional service at no extra cost is what makes them different. Free delivery to all of Lackawanna County. Let them help organize your medications for free. It's the Petros Pharmacy, your hometown pharmacy. And I'd like to throw out a thank you out to Tom DePietro, who is a huge supporter of not just Dunmore athletics in town. All the athletics in Lackawanna and Luzerne County. He is a sponsor on my network, and he is a true community guy.
Well, I want to throw out a big thank you to our crew.
Oh, no doubt.
What a job this year. I think we've done, we're in 14 football games and a soccer game since August 26th. And every week they've done a fabulous job, award-winning job by our crew, our camera people, our director, producers, graphics, audio, replay. And I want to say thank you to Chris, John Kennedy, and Stan, Chris's dad, Stan Kaharski, for joining me in the booth this year. It's a season to remember here on My TV WQMY. We want to thank all of our fans for joining us and keeping track of where we're going to be, of course, giving us ideas. We try to bring you the best games. It doesn't always happen. And we try to hit the areas we need to hit, including here in central Pennsylvania. And, of course, we want to thank the crew here from Danville and the athletic director and the folks from the PIAA.
I did know Wilmington did lose earlier in the PIAA tournament. They did actually win one back in 2008. I thought they were in twice, but I couldn't remember if they won the second one or not.
Number 3, Nate Crowell in the carry.
So Wilmington will try to get their second state title. Of course, Southern will try to get their eighth.
Yep. Will make their 16th appearance in Hershey. They definitely know the way. In fact, the rooms, people already know the hotel they're coming.
No doubt about that. And they will bring people.
Oh, yes. There's
Always
a big
do.
crowd. And Dunmore brought people down. Now the stands have emptied a little bit and people heading back to Lackawanna County. But, you know, they have supported their team throughout Dunmore, traveling twice to Dauphin County. I mean, this Dunmore team has been the playoff road warriors, Chris.
Yeah, and again, it's you never want to see your season end, but they have nothing to hang their heads about.
Nope.
They lost to the #1 team in the state. Simple as that.
Yep.
That's why Southern is #1. They've been #1 in the Pennsylvania Football News since week 1. Since that loss last year, I was looking at everything,
finals.
and they were. I said this team's going to be our #1 team to start the season because Steel Valley lost a lot of players. Again, that Steel Valley team was outstanding. Coach Roth will tell you. He wasn't happy with the result, but I'm sure that made this team work harder, and they want to avenge that loss in Hershey next Friday.
This should be the last play of the game. And the last play will go to Cade Lynn, a sophomore.
Why not? That's appropriate, right?
That is.
Another sophomore.
That is appropriate. I'm sure the referees will not even put the ball down until we're under 25. So Jim Roth picks up win number 411, and he'll get back to the state finals in Hershey as the Kisses roll out here at Danville High School. It was close in the first, but then the Tigers tamed the Bucks putting up 49 straight before Dunmore scored late in this one. The final score, Southern Columbia 56, Dunmore 19. We'll take a quick timeout, and then Aaron Dugan will be on the field with some of the winners.
You're watching Wendy's Friday Night Rivals on MyTV WQMY.
We are back at Danville High School. Southern Columbia is headed to the state Class AA Finals next Friday at Hershey Park. Aaron Dugan on the field, trying to get some interviews. And Aaron, what do you see down there?
Well, I'm here with tonight's winning quarterback, Stone Hollenbeck. As Coach just mentioned in the huddle here, you don't get a prize for this week. It's all about next week. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, you know, we got to this point last year. We won this same exact game last year. Didn't get it done at the end. So all season long, we've talked about getting back to this point. You know, we want to play for the state championship. And this is we're finally here. You know, we got to get it done. You know, if we don't get it done, I mean, we're not much different from last year.
I can hear the emotion in your voice. What does this moment mean to you?
Oh, it's extremely important. You know, like I said, the way we lost that state championship game last year, you know, it was a tough game to take. But we're back now, and you know, if we don't get it done this time, it's not much different from last year. But you know, I got a good feeling. You know, I'm really proud of our team for this win, and I'm so proud to be a part of this team. You know, it's nothing like it, and I'm so happy to be a Tiger.
Great job tonight. Best of luck next week.
Thank you, thank you.
Let's move on to our next player of the game, Gage Garcia. Gage, you were here last year. You know what this week is like leading up to that big game next week. Talk me through the emotions of how you guys get ready.
I mean, this is an emotional win. I didn't get to play in the state final game last year, but we're going to go back to the drawing boards, look at the next team we have to play, and get ready and focus for the next game.
Being injured last year, what did it mean to you to get back out on the field and go at it again?
I mean, this is a really emotional win. I'm trying to hold back the tears right now. I mean, I didn't get to play in Hershey last year, so I'm just glad I got to play in Hershey, but I want to make a win this year, so.
Preparing for Dunmore, taking through that process this week, you knew they were a quality team. What did you do to shut them down tonight?
You know, we had to execute our blocks right away. They got the lead on us, but, you know, we didn't give up. We had a team that just never gives up, and we have so much chemistry, and we came right back at them and won the game, so.
Gage, great job tonight. Best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, our last player of the game, Andrew Bell. Let's talk about this line a little bit and what you guys are able to accomplish for these backs.
I mean, we knew coming in it was going to be one up front. It was kind of battle there in the beginning, but we just wore them down, and we just kind of did our thing on offense.
This is win 4-11 for your coach, Coach Roth. What does he mean to your team?
I'm just so thankful he's my coach. I look up to him so much. Him and Dunmore's coach, Jack Hensis, they're both legendary. I mean, you could argue that they're the greatest of all time.
Just talk to me a little bit about this week, what you guys have to do to prepare. What do you have to do? What facets of your game have to be at the highest level?
Probably mistakes, penalties, and I think we did well on the turnovers from last week, but I think we just got to keep it rolling. We put up 56 points on a quality football team.
Absolutely. Best of luck next week.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see if we can talk to Coach Roth in a minute, Bob.
So dominating performance for Southern Columbia, the Tigers, heading back to the state finals for the 16th time, trying to pick up win number 8. We'll take a final break, and then Aaron will try to get Jim Roth, and Chris and I will wrap things up from Danville. The only ones left down on the field are the media, and they're talking to some players, and that includes our own Aaron Dugan with Coach Roth.
Coach, talking with the players, a lot of emotion. How about you? How are you feeling?
Well, it's a great win. You know, Dunmore's a tremendous team, came in here undefeated. They had a great season defensively, and I thought after a little bit of a slow start, you know, and obviously them jumping out early, you know, I thought we kept our composure, and the offense certainly, you know, got rolling eventually. Gage and Stone and Julian started to do their thing like they've done all year, and you know, the guys up front made it possible, and they go unnoticed a lot of times, but you can have the greatest skill players, but the people up front have to do a job. and Dunmore was a good physical team up front. So I've got to give a lot of credit to the line, both lines actually, defensively and offensively, because I thought that, they eventually took control of the game and allowed us to pull away and score a lot of points.
Coach, you're used to having quality programs, but what makes this year and this team special?
It's a good mix. I mean, we have a lot of good young players. Our sophomore class is outstanding. There's a lot of tremendous athletes in that class. Most of the younger guys are skill players. A number of our linemen are upperclassmen, either juniors or seniors, and that's where we have a few seniors mixed in the line. The senior captains that we have provided a lot of leadership this year. Great motivation in the offseason after losing in the finals last year. So I think they kind of led the way. They set the tone for everybody to work hard, go through a long regular season, a long playoff stretch, and never really have what you would call a bad game or a letdown. We stayed consistent. But I think it's just a good mix right now. We have a good senior class, not a huge senior class, but a good group of leaders and upperclassmen that are good players up front and a lot of good young players in the skill positions. So good mix, and hopefully we can come together one more week and play our best game next week.
All right, good luck next week.
Thank you.
All right, back to you, Bob.
And Chris, who will they play next week? We don't know yet because it's back and forth. Wilmington and Washington just dueling it out.
Yeah, Washington cut it to a touchdown, so it's still going on as far as we know. I'm getting some texts from people who watched us and paying attention to the state picture. But, whoever Southern gets, again, I think Southern's going to be the favorite. I think they'll play a good football team, there's no doubt. But I think they control their own destiny. If they play with like they're capable of playing, they're going to win another state championship.
Dunmore ends their season at 14-1, and another great season for Coach Hens's team, and a lot of seniors that he's going to miss.
Yeah, and you'll get the speculation now. Will Coach step down? And I'm going to tell you right now, it's been said every year for the last probably 10 years. I'm going to tell you, if he feels good, and he told us that before the game, he'll be back on the sidelines next year.
And Southern goes to 15-0, trying to make it 16-0 and pick up another state championship. That would be their 8th.
Yeah, and again, it's just the beginning for Southern.
Yeah.
It really is. This team is so young. It's amazing how good they are with the underclassmen. No, and I'm not putting anything against the seniors. They're a big part of this team. But let's face it, the talent level of this usually your seniors are your best players, and your underclassmen are still learning. But in this team, it's a little bit different. They got some special players, especially in Fleming and Garcia.
Okay, great job by our crew once again. What a great season we had of high school football. And we'll turn our attentions to basketball tomorrow. Our crew will be at Bucknell as they take on Vermont. You can see that live right here on my TV starting at 7 p.m. So Southern headed to the state finals for another time. A dominating performance over Dunmore. So for Aaron Dugan, Chris Kaharski, this is Bob I saying so long from Danville.
You're watching Wendy's Friday Night Rivals on MyTV WQMY.